Hi, Deborah.
Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Deborah King. We're going to talk about some things holistic and well-being today. Just to let you know, there is another person in the room and they're actually going to be asking the question, so you will hear this other voice, okay? So with that, let's get right in.
How are you today?
I am fabulous today. Thanks for asking.
Excellent. Well, you talk about the mind, body, soul, and connection most times.
I bore people to death with it, I know.
I know.
It's a very passionate subject. Continue.
Yeah. So, can you explain a bit more about this for your lovely audience?
Okay. Again, these are very big questions. Very big questions. I could talk all week about it. So the mind body connection, mind body soul connection, mind body spirit connection. I'm actually curious to know how many people out there listening to this do actually sort of buy into this idea or know of this idea. It is something basically, in today's world, certainly my upbringing and that we focus a lot on physical health and doctors and health is a lot around physical ailments that we can see very easily. And the mind, body, soul approach to life, to healing, to health is a holistic approach whereby we take into account how the mind, the emotions, and even spiritual aspects of our lives are all connected with the body, and that all these different types of energies interact with each other. So, for example, I'm trying to think if you maybe an easy one to think of is the likes of depression. So if you're suffering kind of from maybe like a serious type of depression, you can have very negative thinking. You can have emotional pain, and then you can also have physical pain, and also actually spiritual pain. And I am speaking from somebody who actually went through depression for many years of their life, but didn't know I had it for a long time. So the mind, the body, the soul, the spirit, all of these parts of our being are connected, and all of these can, I believe, affect how we go through our lives, how we get through our lives, and how much we have the ability to heal as well. Because, for example, maybe when going through depression, you might have back pain or some kind of physical pain, and the doctor might give you some medication for that, or you might take some tablets to get rid of that pain, and that might get rid of that pain for a while. But actually, are you really getting rid of the mental pain, the emotional pain, maybe a hopelessness, on a spiritual side? Is there something going on where you're thinking, is this all there is to life, or what's missing? And I'm giving quite a serious example so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But it's that whole, it's all connected, the mind, body, the soul. And in recent times, I think it is a fairly new concept for a lot of people. It's certainly a fairly new concept for general healing for a lot of people. But in recent years, there has been studies done around the neurotransmitters in our body and how they flood the entire body, so that what we're thinking and feeling actually physically is felt in our cells as well and goes through all our systems within our body. So it is so connected. If you feel, again, the opposite, if you feel really happy mentally and emotionally, very joyful, there's maybe something going on, your whole body can feel alive and vital and joyful. You might feel fitter, you might feel you can walk further, dance longer, whatever it is. And even if you have some kind of physical ailment or disability or challenge, you can still feel a lightness in your body in some way if you feel mentally and emotionally and spiritually light and happy and joyful. So it's just that whole connection that a lot of times when people talk about healing, they maybe just focus on the physical aspects of our body, but the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects are also needed, and they can all affect each other. Physical can affect mental, emotional. If you are housebound for maybe weeks or months on end because you break your legs or you have some serious spine injury or something, that can have an impact on you mentally and emotionally. It can be quite down, depressing. Yes, maybe the main thing is the physical aspect, but that can also have a knock-on effect on the mental and emotional. If you're feeling mentally and emotionally upset about something, maybe you're in a job you don't like, or you're under a lot of stress, that in turn can affect the physical. So all of these different energies and aspects of ourselves can affect the other aspects of ourselves. So in healing, I just think it is really important for us to look at all those aspects, the mind, body, and the soul connection.
So just a little add-on on this with my own experience. I think most of the times, like, does the spiritual effect like comes with a negative and positive, like you're thinking negatively about something. And I find that when your thoughts are negative, spiritually, everything you do becomes very negative. And I find also that when I'm thinking positively, and it's more like an affirmation when I'm thinking, oh, I want this done, I want to achieve this, I want to do that, it does actually do come to effect.
Yeah, I do believe, and again, that's a whole other topic and a whole other conversation that we can spend weeks on. Yeah, something as simple as having a positive mindset. Some people might say it's not that simple, but having more of a can-do attitude. What's coming to mind there is the example of, maybe you get up one morning and you get out of bed on the wrong side or whatever, and you maybe stumble into the bathroom and you stub your toe on the door, the side. What's that word? The side. skirting board. Right. Yeah, skirt. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
You hit your toe. You bump your toe into something, and it can hurt painfully, and then you can go, oh my goodness, and it's just first thing in the morning, and it's the first thing you experience in the morning. So mentally and emotionally, you get upset, you get annoyed, you're in pain, and actually a lot of times what we can do is bring that into the rest of the day. So we get into the car and then we're shouting at people, having road rage, and we're still thinking of the sore toe, and our whole day can be affected by that.
So how does that connect with the body, soul, and mind connection?
Because it's a physical pain of hitting your toe can get you into a negative mindset and a negative emotion, and you can bring that into your day. If you stub your toe and yes, scream, shout, go, that's really sore, maybe say a few bad words, whatever it is, and then are able to change that into, right, let's forget about that. We've hurt the toe, we've got it sorted. Let me have a nice cup of coffee, let me do whatever, let me just sit down for a few minutes, let me put one of my favourite podcasts on while I'm driving to work. You can totally change your mindset, the mental and emotional side of it. So instead of letting that one physical thing affect you and make you more negative for the day, because you keep thinking about this toe that you hurt first thing in the morning, we have the power to change that in our mind, be aware of that and change it and go, actually, let's just forget about that and let's focus on something positive.
Yeah, so the positive and the power, you said the power to change our mind. So the power to change our mind in physical self is like when you're feeling physical exhausted and you come home and maybe you say, okay, this is just an example. Maybe go for a walk and then you come back the next day, you feel very well. So it's all connected into the body, soul, and mind.
Yeah, because you could come home from that and feel, you might think you have a list of 10 things to do and you're feeling physically really unwell and not wanting to do it. And don't get me wrong, sometimes there are things we have to do. Yeah. We're talking very generally, but is the best thing to say, okay, I'm going to put the feet up, and you know what, those 10 things can wait till tomorrow. Do they need to be done today? Or if you do those 10 things, do you just put yourself under more pressure and get more annoyed, more upset, mentally get more negative, emotionally feel more annoyed, and maybe still are in physical pain? So that is a choice that you can do that. But another choice is, you know what, I'm going to go to bed early. And if the kids can get the kids to bed early, can I take an hour nap? Is there somebody that can look after the kids? And I'm not saying all this is, it's not always the easiest thing to do, but being aware of a choice there, being aware of a choice that you can make things a little bit easier on yourself and change in reaction to a physical thing. You can change your mental and emotional state so as not to let that physical thing keep affecting you negatively, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, so how did you come to believe or get to the whole idea of the mind body connection?
So the big thing that stands out for me is many years ago, I had a friend who was very much into a lot of this stuff that I wasn't into, and she had bought a book, and she was so excited about this book, and she was telling me all about this book. And at the time, I had lost my voice where I worked, and everybody said I had laryngitis, but I knew I didn't have laryngitis. I just knew I couldn't speak. And she'd gone on about this book, and then I was kind of more focused on not being able to speak and that. And then I kind of had this, she had explained a few things about the book, and then the more I thought about it, the more I thought to myself, I don't have laryngitis. I know that I have just lost my voice. And I was very aware of the difference of that. It wasn't a physical illness. Everybody kept telling me to go to the doctor. And I was like, I don't need to go to the doctor, but I want to know why I've lost my voice. And I realised then this book that she had bought was about the mind body connection. And I remember then, getting in touch with her and being like, can I see that book? Or tell me what that book says about laryngitis. And this book, it's called The Mind Body Connection. I think Mind Body Connection by Deborah Shapiro. Brilliant book. And laryngitis, it lists a lot of ailments, conditions. And laryngitis was about having a blockage, an emotional blockage in your throat, and not being able to speak up and this kind of thing. And it made sense because actually at this time in my work, there was another person I worked with, and I really, really fancied them. And I really kind of wanted to say something to them, and I was embarrassed and all these kind of things, and didn't want to speak up. So when that person was in work, I kind of shut my throat down. So I realised that it really wasn't laryngitis. The blockage had come, and me losing my voice was because I was afraid to say something. And that kind of started me off on the, oh my goodness, there's something to this. And I very quickly went out and got that book, and I use it a lot to this day. So that was kind of one of the big things that happened to me.
I see. What would you like to say to your lovely audience, dear Deborah?
What I would like to say to everyone, to leave you with, is that we have so many resources within ourselves. You have so many resources and abilities within yourself to change your mind, to change your emotions, to change your physical health, and to change your life and different aspects of your life, even if that's something small. And what I leave you with is a question: who would you be if you were all that you are?